G'day everyone, today we're going to be talking about Australian animation. Most of these are like 90s, 2000s shows, like my era of television. I'm not going to be talking about shows for like really young children, so I'm not talking about Bananas in Pyjamas, I'm not talking about Bluey, alright, you all know what Bluey is, whether you wanted to or not. I understand it's a very popular Australian animated show, but
I ain't spending any time on it, because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
I'm sure most Australians around my age would have watched these shows. Or perhaps it was one of those shows where the intro sequence started playing the moment you had to turn the TV off and go to dinner. Most other people have probably never even heard of most of these shows. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first show I'm going to feature is about a girl called
Tracey.
Tracey McBean is a hand-drawn animated series that aired from 2001 to 2006, produced by Southern Star, which is actually Hanna-Barbera Australia, and Shanghai Animation Film Studio, starring the titular Tracey, a wannabe inventor, and her
Vaguely ethnic?
friend Seamus.
You're crazy, Tracey. You can't use that.
Why not?
It's like some old-time torture device.
A typical episode involves Tracey coming up with some kind of invention, either for fun, or to make a chore easier, or to solve some kind of problem. Sometimes they work, sometimes they very much don't. Oftentimes she uses her own friends and family members as guinea pigs for her contraptions. She's also constantly getting into beef with her school bullies Jake and Jim McConnelly. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Jim McConnelly is actually my favourite character in any piece of media ever, because he sounds like this.
Hey McBean, check out the cockatoo we found.
Yeah, we've been teaching him to say things.
Yes, I heard.
Can't boss us around, Jim. We can walk anywhere we like.
But we were here first, shame us. Right, Jake?
Yeah, we...
Yeah.
No, we weren't.
Well, we were almost first. Like, if we had been here earlier...
Yeah, we were almost.
We chose to come late on purpose. So technically we were first, sort of.
And then his brother Jake's gimmick is that he has an extremely dumb-sounding voice, but he always does these really overly verbose summaries of the current situation.
Your proximity to this bizarre phenomenon inflicting my brother makes one suspect that you are the instigator of the aforementioned phenomenon.
You know, even though they're supposed to be the bullies, I kind of find myself almost rooting for Jim and Jake just because they're a lot funnier than Tracey and Seamus. Jim is also like weirdly subservient and nervous sounding when he talks to adults. Despite sounding like one himself, it's very funny.
It's Rome!
Oh, me!
Yes, Jim McConnelly?
Is it Rome?
Correct, Jim. Well done.
Ah, thank you.
Then you may as well get back on the bus. Understood?
Oh,
if you put it like that...
Yeah, I understood.
There is...
Actually, if you were to just guess the age of these characters, what do you think? I'm assuming you'd probably guess something like this, eh? Like, this is what I would have guessed. But no, all of these characters are in fact, canonically, 9 years old. 9 years old. 9. Jake and Jim are in the same class as Tracey and Seamus, so they have to be at least close to the same age. Maybe Jim and Jake got held back a few years and that's why they're still in 4th grade. I don't know. Also, speaking of weird looks, Tracey's brother's head looks like it has a comb stuck inside of it. They're sort of doing like a Simpsons type thing where it's not entirely clear what's head and what's hair, but it's skin color, not yellow, so it looks weird. You know, that's the entire reason the Simpsons are yellow, right? Because otherwise it made them look like they had flesh hair. Also, I noticed the show really likes to do these extreme close-ups on people's face quite a lot, and every time they do that, the head is so close to the frame that the background is virtually non-existent, so they don't have to draw it. You know what? I respect the hustle. Animation takes fucking forever, and we all only have one life to live, so fucking cut every corner you can get away with. I think overall the show looks fine. It's definitely got that 2000s cartoon thing where they use really thick line work on everything. The backgrounds are very simplistic. Sometimes it looks a bit odd because there'll be these gaps in the foreground where there's just nothing between it and the background, so it kind of looks like you could just walk off into the fucking void where the skybox is. It's fine though, like it's a kid's show, it's TV quality animation, the backgrounds don't need to be amazing. Though I will say you probably wouldn't be able to tell 2 episodes of this show apart because they all take place in pretty much the same locations with exactly the same color palette, so... You know, I wouldn't binge this show, but, you know, tuning into it once a day as a kid was enjoyable enough to me. I think my biggest criticism with the show is how episodes tend to end, which always feels kind of rushed. Like, they're only 10-minute episodes, but the pacing always makes it feel like there's, like, more left to go than there actually is. So the resolutions of each episode often feel quite sudden and kind of underwhelming in some cases. It's just like, oh, okay, that's the end of that episode, I guess. But overall, it's a fun show. Oh, by the way, I've decided to end each segment of this video with a bunch of out-of-context clips of each respective show, so...
He has to try and dodge them, or they'll rip him to shreds. It's really great for his reflexes.
And noses tell no tales.
That never happened.
No, but it's a good story.
Jake, you should stop talking so much, because I heard of this other guy who talked like you, so much like that, and his tongue fell out. And people were picking up his tongue and just licking stamps with it and stuff.
Now you know what giraffes have to go through every day.
I'm a poet and I don't know it.
While my brother and I believe it was implicit that skateboards be used, you are correct that the agreement was to ride down. Therefore, any form of conveyance does apply.
Hey, Tracy, hurry up, will ya?
But do you want to dare?
Do we do dare? You dare to dare, we dare. Isn't that right, Jake?
Actually, a dare is an immature response to assert one's supposed superiority by the means of a foolish display of reckless bravery.
Let me do the talking from now on, Jake.
That's not nice at all, Jim.
And it's not funny or original.
Yes, it is. It's funny and original.
Must employ methodical observation of our surroundings to develop alternative navigational skills.
Do you have a suggestion, Jake? There is no such thing as drop bears.
The crocodile has vanished.
Yeah! And then sometimes it starts to hurt after it's funny. Oh, well, it's hurting now. Oh, it's hurting!
Oh! It's sick. I didn't say anything.
Tracy's a deal. Tracy's a deal.
My hair was eaten by an emu.
So next up we have a double feature, because these shows are so similar that they may as well be the same show. They have the exact same art style, they were made at the exact same time, and 99% of the characters in both of them were voiced by the same two people. I'm talking about good old
Blinky Bill. Hey, hey, Blinky Bill, our cheeky mate from Green Patch Hill.
And
Skippy the what? Skippy the who? Skippy the bush kangaroo!
produced by one of the oldest animation studios in Australia, Yoram Gross Studios, which still exists today but they've rebranded to Flying Bark. They're actually the ones making the current Ninja Turtles show. So Blinky Bill centres around a cheeky young koala and his friends getting into mischief or getting caught up in others' mischief. You got your classic kids TV episode premises like getting lost, somebody needing help, or a foot race where people are cheating. The characters all sound extraordinarily Australian.
Extraordinary!
In fact, I notice a lot of time when an American piece of media has an Australian character in it, they kind of sound like characters from this show.
Whatever it was, you really ticked off the big boss this time.
What? I'm not allowed to have a bad dream.
And I could really use some help finding him. I think it was a him, unless it was a her.
Professionals have standards.
You knew my history with Sam and then you dragged me into this anyway? Your history with the Sarv made you the obvious...
No, Captain! We had him! What in the world did you do that for?
Did you have anything to do with that tent collapsing?
Ha! You're a girl! I'm much braver than you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm stronger.
I'm quicker.
You big bully.
Well, what's a dingo room?
It's a room where we can do what we like.
Like, good lord, even Steve Irwin's accent wasn't this thick.
Look at that. That's beautiful stuff. Doesn't smell too crash hot. Have a look.
I'm not complaining though, I actually really like the voices, I think they're a lot of fun. Speaking of the voices, did you know that this is Mel Gibson's ex-wife? Mel Gibson was technically married to Blinky Bill. The dingoes are, they're very, cool looking. Very cool looking indeed. Most of the dingoes are young adults and they're just straight up bullying children. It's really funny. The show has a couple adult characters as well, like you got their teacher, Mrs. Magpie, Blinky's mum, Mayor Pelican, Mr. Wombat, Blinky's mum. Believe it or not, Blinky's mum isn't the thickest character of the show because that title goes to the dingo's mum.
Holy shit!
Also, Mayor Pelican is definitely my favourite sounding character in the show. His voice is just very funny to me.
As the esteemed mayor of Green Patch, it gives me
There it is!
great pleasure. And,
What was that funny noise?
Also, there's this odd dialogue exchange in episode 1.
Lower than a snake's belly button. Oh, I resent that slur.
What slur? You mean snake? The thing that you are? That doesn't make any sense. That's like saying it's a slur to call a Japanese person Japanese. Anyway, so similarly to Jimmy Neutron, the show is actually a follow-up to a movie that came out in 1992, which has this really weird amnesia storyline in which Blinky can't remember anything and they all have to find their own way home after the bush where their village was got destroyed by humans. You'll notice in the movie, the backgrounds are actually live action. This is something Joran Gross had actually done a few times at this point, predating Who Framed Roger Rabbit by a full decade. I've always really liked movies where it's like animal characters versus human characters with, fucking shotguns. Though I have always thought, like, imagine how gruesome some of these kids' movies would be if the characters didn't just barely escape the imminent death that was headed their way. Although I suppose we don't need to imagine when you can just watch Watership Down, or Fell a Day, or Plague Dogs. But anyway, yeah, this movie's actually quite dramatic at parts. Like, the lighting looks good. I really do like 2D characters in live-action backgrounds. Like, it is so appealing to me for some reason. Alright, so headed back to the television show. Season 1 and 2 aired from 1993 to 1995, focusing on their adventures and shenanigans in the village and the surrounding bush. And then a third season came out 9 years later in 2004, following the gang trying to escape a circus ringleader named Basil and his lackey Cyril.
You give me those things.
But what am I going to eat with now?
I don't care.
Splodge the kangaroo is weirdly absent from this season. This season was also done digitally as opposed to the first 2 seasons, which were done on cell animation. I definitely prefer the traditional look over the digital, but it still looks fine. They then closed out this version of the character with another movie the following year titled Blinky Bill's White Christmas. Yes, there was a 3D animated movie that came out a decade later. No, we're not going to talk about it. But yeah, all in all, Blinky Bill, good show, good series.
Nuts!
Ooh, what a lovely flutterby.
Kissed by a dingo. Yuck.
Nice ground.
I can see you're not green orientated. And you being a school teacher.
Oh, that's cute.
Was it a boy or a girl?
I don't know.
That's why Bunyip Day is so important. It's said to be the one day of the year the King Bunyip...
I lost all the clothes.
Oh.
My big toe, Cyril, quick!
Something.
Did someone say money?
We will raise money by selling cakes, which you women will make.
You can't hang about there all day.
Hey, Gramps, cut the cackle and show us what you've got.
Don't do that.
It means, in case of emergency, ring bell.
I just wish Basil would let us leave Paris.
Hey, that was funny.
So 2 years after season 2 finished, they released a single season of another show called Skippy Adventures in Bushtown. Unlike Blinky Bill, humans aren't present at all in this show. It's just animal people this time round. Skippy is a park ranger who helps people out when they're in trouble while also trying to foil the plans of the corrupt Mayor Croco and his wife Suka. Skippy is often accompanied by Matilda, who does the news for the local television station. Out of the 3 episodes I watched for this video, the first one was about manipulating the general public to alter the outcome of an election. The second was about a drought in which overbearing water restrictions are enforced upon the citizens while the elite are allowed to use as much water as they want. And the third was about the oil crisis. In the show's first episode, the town's mayor has dementia, so he holds an election to decide who the new town mayor will be.
Here he is in person to officially open this lookout.
It gives me great pleasure to open this magnificent new, baby health centre.
A trash collector named Croco gets the idea to make money from the election by having candidates pay him to make it look like they have more support from the public than they actually do. In a weirdly Breaking Bad-esque manner, we don't just see the execution of this idea, we also see the entire process the character goes through to make it happen. In this case, we see Croco hire a gaggle of middle-aged women and train them to act in order to feign support for whatever candidate they're currently assisting.
1, lift. 2, hug. 3, kiss. Oh, yuck.
At the end of the episode, this senile old fuck awards Croco the role of mayor by accident, so Croco now immediately becomes the most rich and powerful person in Bushtown and acts as the antagonist for the rest of the show. In the drought episode, Croco mandates extreme water restrictions on the rest of the town, but the reservoir's water level is still unable to recover because his wife Suka is still using the water to take day-long hot baths and Croco himself is using it for his pool. Then in the oil episode, everyone is just having to push their cars around because no one can afford petrol because Croco is just arbitrarily raising the price for no reason. It's interesting because it's topics that you might not really expect to be in a kid show, but it is, and it's handled pretty well.
Don't you think if you put the prices up too much, they'll buy their petrol somewhere else?
Don't be ridiculous, Bernard. We're the only oil company in Bushtown, remember? We have a monopoly.
So in terms of other characters in the show, you've got Croco's goons, one of which is Keith Scott doing his best Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation.
We need to learn spy stuff. You know how to be sneaky, underhanded, and devious.
The town has a couple reoccurring characters. There's this platypus farmer dude. Oh, and let's not forget the Scottish pelican inventor and his transgender kookaburra maid.
That is so clever. It's turning big pieces of garbage into small pieces of garbage.
Cooker, please, it's turning garbage into petrol.
Oh, also while I was watching the show, I caught a few instances where the camera wasn't quite zoomed in far enough to not catch the edge of the cell, like the edge of where they drew the character, because it was supposed to be off screen, which is weird, because I've never seen that happen ever in any animation of anything before, but I've seen that error pop up multiple times in this show. Animation errors are common with shows like this, like things like part of the body being filled with the wrong colour or part of the body not being filled at all for a frame. But yeah, seeing the edge of the character is a new one in my experience, at least with cell animation, because I have actually spotted that in digital animation a few times. But yeah, from what I can gather, this seems like a good show. I might even end up watching the rest of it on my own time. There's not that many examples of traditional cell animation made in Australia, so I really appreciate these shows from that standpoint alone. Alright, out of context compilation. Almost forgot. Here we go.
You haven't said much, Skippy. What do you think about the drought?
Well, it's dry, all right.
Dry, all right? This is the worst drought in 50 years. People are losing their livelihoods and their jobs, and all you can say is, it's dry, all right?
Yep.
Bushtown's mine, I'll be rich. But you already are. I'll be richer. Kylie, take your foot off the brake.
Sorry, Daddy.
Convince them you are a female.
But I...
Embarrassed?
No, this colour is death to my complexion.
The greatest discovery of the century.
This is ordinary sugar.
No. I disguised the instant water to look like sugar so no one would steal my secret.
And how do you turn the... That's not water, Professor.
You won't make any money.
Yeah, and whoever you vote for, a politician gets in. They're all the same. They're shaking hands with grannies, kissing babies, boring the crowd. They make me sick. Hey.
So the next cartoon I'm going to talk about for a little bit, because I only have a little bit to go off, because it's basically lost media. I'd actually never even heard of this show until making this video. So because there is so little of it remaining, I'm actually just going to play the full intro this time, because that's some of the only actual bits of the show that we have left. So Dinky Dies was made by Roo Films Brisbane and Pacific Rim Animation. It's not even entirely clear when this show came out, because some sources say 1997 and others say 1991. I don't know. Personally, I think it's got to be the earlier one, because it looks way more like a late 80s, early 90s show than a late 90s show, in my opinion. According to Wikipedia, the premise revolved around a group of anthropomorphic animals who go around the world saving rare and endangered animals and plants while educating the audience on the importance of environmental preservation. Most of the episodes for this show have just been straight up lost to time. There's no recordings of them available anywhere. Apparently, the creator of the show, Mel Bradford, was planning on doing a DVD release, and then he fucking died. The only full episode I could find of this show on YouTube is an episode titled Funga Wonder on this channel called Copyright Machine. It's a VHS taping of a TV broadcast in New Zealand, and you can tell because it's still got all the commercials in the middle.
Tonight on 2, when two cousins meet, anything can happen.
0800 80
Got my number?
0800 80 2000. Got the vision? Yes, World Vision. 40-hour famine. 0800 80 2000. Phone now and get in it. World Vision 40-hour famine. Register today.
God, I miss the 90s, despite only being born for 1 year of it. Anyway, the VHS tape is really wobbly. It gets like properly deep fried towards the end. But this is all we got to work with, so we'll have to make do. So there's the Dinky Dies, who fly TIE fighters and have a base that is, I'm unclear where it actually is. There's this evil guy who's a big silhouette with red eyes. Also, apparently this character's name is Aussie Roo, but he doesn't have an Australian accent. In fact, none of these characters have Australian accents, even though they're all Australian animals and it's an Australian show. Like, come on, man. Just let the characters and voice actors use their normal accents, okay? There's also an Aussie cartoon from 2014 that didn't even make it into this video. It's called Monster Beach, but again, you wouldn't know it was Australian because there's no Australian accents. Like, you don't need American accents for something to be successful, okay?
You're Australian! Be Australian!
Anyway, so I'm not going to do an out-of-context compilation for this show because it's actually somehow more confusing in context. So I'm going to try and explain to you what happened in the one episode of the show I was actually able to watch. Alright, ready? So the Dinky Dies get caught in a
hyper-hallucinogenic power field.
Yeah, that. And then old mate here is like,
grasshoppers are mine.
So to stop Evil Man stealing the endangered grasshoppers, the Arizonian bird commander calls in the other two Dinky Die agents who were at a conference in Italy to come help. Then we go to commercial and come back to an inexplicable montage sequence. So the frill-necked lizard agent and the Japanese bear agent arrive in the jungle where the grasshoppers got taken, immediately get eaten by a giant fuck-off alien worm thing. They fall through its throat, which for some reason is lined with rows and rows of LEDs, but inside its stomach is actually the mushroom dimension. They activate a video game trap and fall through a hole in the ground into an asteroid in the middle of deep space, filled with hundreds and hundreds of giant ticking clocks. When they go near one of the clocks, it emerges from the ground to show a monolithic contraption, which instantly explodes for no reason, and giant mechanical creatures pop out of it. Karate Bear bitch slaps a small enemy spider and kicks a random falling cog. Frillneck shoots a laser at the clock and they jump onto it as it descends into the asteroid. Inside the asteroid is actually a giant computer circuit board where they fight a fucking wizard. Then we go to commercial again and there's biscuits.
Magic in the middle. Can't get around them. Magic in the middle. Magic in the middle.
Then they chase the wizard through a door and arrive at
the fabric of life itself.
Yeah, that. Then a rat shows up in a tank and shoots lasers at the ground, which causes evil flowers to come out and try and kill the wizard. In response to this, the wizard turns himself into a tornado, the rat misses again, and DNA strands come out of the ground, turn into snakes, and then explode. Then a Roman bear man teleports into existence, shows them his balls, and leaves. The rat and the tornado wizard fight, giving Dinky Dies a chance to steal the grasshoppers back, but the fighting causes reality itself to unravel, so the rat runs away and the wizard gets depression, so they invite the wizard back to the real world so he can use his wizard powers to spawn infinite food for starving African children. And now the command center is fine, and I don't even know where the command center was this whole time. It's never established where this place is or how it was affected by any of this. It's not even remotely explained, and that's the end. I feel like I just did every drug at the same time. Anyway, so that was Dinky Dies. Next we're going to be taking a look at a late 2000s show called So Sidge the Didge was a cartoon by Kapow Picture and Vision Animation which came out from 2009 to 2010 about a small-time DJ called Charlotte Jones who's trying to make it big. She's friends with a guy named Sai, no, not that one, this guy, who is a Maui New Zealander, so he sounds like all of Taika Waititi's characters.
How are we going to get into the concert? I just checked with my cousins, no tickets anywhere, eh?
And she's also friends with this other dork named Leslie.
He stops the traffic. It's really neat.
He helps the kiddies cross the street.
She has a job at the local music store run by these two twats, Arnis and Lyle, who are just the worst. She has a vindictive school teacher who seems to just hate her for some reason. And her local competition are a couple of Eshays called the Patel twins, who are also the worst, because you really do just want to king hit these cunts anytime they're on screen. Their father is an Indian guy who runs a local convenience store and is convinced that his sons are going to make his family rich one day.
There you are, my soon-to-be successful and highly remunerated sons. Bling gaming gloves, just as you requested.
Oh yeah, so going back to Arnis and Lyle, these two fucking suck, by the way. Like, in the first episode, there's an electronic music trio coming to town whose identities are a mystery, like they always wear masks, and CJ's boss tells her to dox them, or he's going to fire her. But then him and Lyle just show up anyway and say that they're going to do it instead, even though he just told her that if she didn't do it, she'd get fired. Yeah, the show is really good at making you just hate all of CJ's enemies because they are unrelentingly awful to her for absolutely no reason. Okay, so one of the worst things about being an animator is it just destroys your ability to enjoy a cartoon like a normal fucking person because you can't stop noticing. Alright, I keep noticing shit that nobody fucking cares about. Like you see this? You see this little shadow right here on the arm cast by the sleeve? It's fucking me up because this arm has a shadow, but this arm doesn't have a shadow. Both of Leslie's arms don't have shadows, but both of CJ's arms do. But it should be the other way around because Leslie's sleeves are overhanging and CJ's sleeves are skin tight and her hair casts a shadow on her head, but her skirt doesn't cast a shadow on her legs. Life is pain, I hate. So the art style of this show is interesting. I like parts of it, other parts I'm not so fond of. I remember as a Nintendo-obsessed little kid, I really appreciated the Super Mario Brothers segment in episode 12. Sometimes they use 3D models in the background and they put like a toon shader on it that gives it the black outlines. There are some parts of the background that are like pixelated in a way that looks kind of very unpleasant in my opinion. It kind of unintentionally implies that they're centering something behind the pixels. Like this wall here is just covered head to toe in crystal porn. I'm not really a fan of the like ovular mouth shape that seems to be the default mouth shape for most characters. But it's better than bean mouth, I guess. The show has a unique visual identity anyway, like I think it's fine. But yeah, that's all I have to say on Sidge the Didge, so we're gonna do the out of context thing and move on.
Get out! Oh, I can feel them slipping!
Okay, I give in. I'll advertise in your magazine. Now give me back my jelly toads.
Just kids. You don't really want to hurt us, do you?
Well, now that you mention it, yes I do.
That's simple, Aragonorian. Simply cast an electrical bolt on the unit of Borks at the dungeon entrance.
Copy that, Arathornian. Casting.
I said the dungeon entrance, you fool. The dungeon entrance?
I'm sure he's got some Peruvian goat herding hit.
Stop! Don't!
Okay, so how much is this game anyway?
Yeah, just one more level, Phil, and I'll be dancing on Triple A's grave!
This.
Careful, some of those costumes are Dad's.
Well, I'm not... Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
So now we're going to quickly talk about a stop-motion animated series called... So the Koala Brothers came out in 2003 and there were a lot of episodes. It was produced by Famous Flying Films and Spellbound Entertainment. The show centres around a bunch of Australian animals who live out in the desert, and there's these two koala brothers, Frank and Buster, who own a plane and they kind of go around like patrolling and like helping people when they're in trouble and shit. And that's kind of all I have to say about it, to be honest. Like, it's a classic Australian kids show, don't get me wrong. There's not really much for me to talk about, I suppose. So, you know how I said that I wouldn't be talking about shows for really young children? Like preschoolers and shit? Turns out this is a show for preschoolers. I didn't know that. I thought it was a show for kids a bit older than that, because in my head I was watching this show when I was 10. And yeah, I did realise, like, as I'm watching it, that it felt more kind of younger targeted, because it's got like a narrator. The concepts are very, very simple. Another reason you can tell it's a show for very young children is they reuse animation a lot because small children don't notice. There's this animation sequence where they take the plane off and Ned opens the gate for them and they go out and they hit the letterbox by accident. They never seem to reanimate this, they just use the same footage every single time. Oh, and also the thing I found really annoying is the show cannot go 10 fucking seconds without playing a music sting in the background of some kind. And they only made about maybe 10 to 12 of them, so you hear the exact same, like really noticeably the exact same music stings play again and again and again and again and again and again.
Penny found that playing cricket wasn't as easy as it looked.
Let's see what Alice can do. Oh no! It's some chocolates! And they've all melted!
Don't worry.
Yeah, you get the idea. What else can I say? I guess the character designs. The character designs are really cute. I really like Josie the kangaroo. She's just very, very sweet. In fact, all the characters in this show are kind of like overwhelmingly nice and sweet to each other. It's very wholesome. Well, except for the two wombats. These two are annoying little shits. There's Ned the autistic wombat, who for some reason has a hopscotch game set up outside his caravan that he must complete every single time he enters the caravan. And then you've got Mitzi, who is just Mitzi. You've got Archie, which is basically just Game Chap if he was a scaly.
I say what ho, chaps and shepherds, Game Chap and Birdie how? Yeah! Yes, and I say to you fellows that we are now investigating a jolly useful modification.
Hello, everyone, and Frank and Buster will be our umpires. I say, is it true we have a new musician in our midst? Ha! A tuba. Splendid.
There's also a non-verbal penguin girl named Penny. She just kind of squeaks. I don't know why she's the only animal character that can't speak. Maybe she's Antarctic. Hold on, is Antarctic a language? There's no Antarctic language, is there, right? It'd be like, do you speak Antarctic? Antarctica has no native language. Okay, alright. Well, it's time for the compilation now anyway, so...
Is that it?
What?
Maybe I'm using the wrong fingers.
Yeah, you should be using Frank's.
Hello, Ned.
Can you go any faster?
Just like a real sea captain.
Ah, Mr. Buster. Nice to meet you. The name's Archibald P. Crocodilus, but you can call me Archie. I'm looking forward to making lots of new friends.
Oh, hi, Josie. Like the tubular.
So what? It's okay, George. I can get some more chocolates another time.
Next up is a show called... So Dex Hamilton was an Australian-Canadian co-production that only aired one season from 2008 to 2009. It's a sci-fi show about an entomologist who goes around space with his team, essentially trying to resolve various conflicts between the giant space bugs and people. Meanwhile, an equally passionate insect enthusiast named Cyrus is attempting to destroy all the worlds, for some reason, while amassing an army of genetically modified space insects to fight for him. You know, he doesn't really look that villainous. He kind of has this doofy-looking face sometimes. There are side antagonists in the show with more evil-looking designs. So Dex Hamilton himself is the only character in the show with an Australian accent. The rest are all American, or I guess Canadian. I don't know. I can't really tell the difference, I'm going to be honest. You can tell he was inspired by Steve Irwin, just with the enthusiasm about animals and just the way he speaks in general.
Crikey, just look at those two alpha males jockeying for the leader position. And I have finally captured a hypersonic sun skimmer, the fastest bug in the galaxy. It's in this crate right behind us.
Can we see it?
No.
Although the voice actor is actually not Australian, it's a Canadian voice actor. The Australian accent is like notoriously hard for other people to imitate, and this guy does a better job than most do at least. So Dex has 3 people in his team. One is a half bug, half twink named Zap. One is a clone, spoilers, named Jenny 10, no relation to Ben 10. And the other is this little like frog-toed manlet.
Did anybody bring some extra pants? I think I'm gonna need them.
This show was on the air for a really long time, so I guess they just did lots and lots of reruns because there's only 26 episodes. Many of the bugs use CG. In fact, sometimes they actually swap the 2D characters out for 3D models for certain movements. Animation-wise, the movement is still fairly good despite being on these stiff 2D rigs. Sort of like Archer, I guess. They make it work pretty well, I think. There's some really cool set pieces. I mean, it is space after all, so you've got a lot to work with. And the show is usually not too childish. You know, tone-wise, it's a lot closer to something like Ben 10 than it is to Peppa fucking Pig. This is one of the few shows I've looked at where you can actually just buy it on YouTube. I didn't, though, because I'm a tight ass when it comes to spending money. Instead, I just watched some shitty YouTube rips with a teddy bear in the corner for some reason, and some of the worst video compression I've ever seen. Yes, there was a 3D animated movie that came out a decade later. No, we're not going to talk about it. Overall, it seems like a decent show, and it's actually serialized too, meaning there is a chronology and like character development as the season goes on, so that's cool to see.
Oh no, not again!
Dude, get off me! Dude, chill out!
And I plan to inform the government of what's going on here. It's my duty as an entomologist, and a human being!
Well, I'm neither, technically. So instead, I just planted a bomb downstairs.
Can I be whoever I want?
You're a frog. Deal with it.
Everybody okay? Cool. Can I use this next time Tommy eats Mexican?
We've got boots full of hot goo! What's not to like?
Wow, you're really good at that.
Turn back now! Fear me! I will destroy you!
Next up is a little known, and I do mean little known, cartoon called So this show was produced by a company called Media World Features, who are apparently known for such shows as John Callahan's Quads and Beware of Greeks Bearing Guns. It only ever had one season and 26 episodes, which was released in the year 2000. You know, I'm really curious what software they used to make this show, because it's like three-dimensional environments but with 2D characters in them. And you can tell the characters weren't simply just composited on top afterwards, they were actually inside of the scene that was rendering. I love these environments so much. I know they look like shit, like objectively by today's standards, it looks dated, it looks very dated, but I fucking love it. It reminds me of Myst a little bit. I really like the weird, surreal look of like 3D renders in the 90s. A lot of 90s computer games had them, so I grew up with a little bit of this on like Windows 95 and Windows 98. I also noticed every character has this weird filter on it that makes the inside of the character kind of slightly lighter than the outside of the character, like some kind of automatic pillow shading effect. So I've had experience using like image sequences on like a 2D plane inside of a 3D scene in Blender before, and it's kind of a massive pain in the fucking ass, and it doesn't work that well, and you often have to kind of get real finicky with it in the shader set. It's just annoying. Like, it's really annoying to do even today. So I'm genuinely very curious what software they would have been using in the late 90s to allow them to do this. 2D characters in a 3D environment is just very appealing to me. It's frustrating because I consider myself someone who's fairly knowledgeable of Australian animation history, but I'd literally never heard of this show before. I only even found out about this show from a fucking Scottish Halo YouTuber. You know what? Fuck it, I'll call him.
Hello?
Hey, g'day Cheeks, it's Kaylee here.
Who?
Kaylee? You know, from the Halo rant video? The dragon with the big tits.
Oh, yeah, I remember you now. The furry, right. What's up?
Well, I'm just doing a bit on Australian cartoons at the moment, and I was wondering if you could maybe tell the audience your thoughts on Ocean Girl, since you've actually, seen it all.
Oh, sure.
So, The New Adventures of Ocean Girl is a weird kinda but not really spin-off of another show that was just called Ocean Girl. Like, it's got the same protagonist, same creator, even the same fucking title font. But for some reason the two shows are both completely separate from each other. So the show follows this girl called Nere, who's Princess of Oceania, a world that's covered entirely in water with the only bits of land being a few swamps and cliffs and then some underground caves. Aside from, 4 humans on the entire planet, Oceania is inhabited by 3 alien races or clans. That being the amphibians, the cave dwellers and the flyers. These 3 are like legit aliens too. They're not even from this planet. They're more like interstellar immigrants because their own world got destroyed by an evil space wizard called Galil. And guess who's the main villain of the show? So Galil wants these 4 sacred crystals because they were promised to him 3,000 years ago or something, and so the entire show is basically just the main character being sent on side quests by this talking magic whale who's the keeper of the crystals and yet did such a shit job that they somehow ended up on different places all over the fucking planet, but it's Nere's job to find them for some reason. The whale's genuinely a fucking dickhead, right?
What must we do?
Look to yourself. It is up to you.
What about the crystals?
Remember, look to yourself.
But Mandrel, I don't go! Come back!
It's a shame there's next to no humans on this planet because the Japanese would have put a stop to this nonsense real quick. Anyway, after like 25 episodes, Galil does get the crystals anyway, so Yeah, and he does pretty much fuck all. He just goes to the cave where the whale is for some reason, and then Neri wins by. And I'm not fucking about. She just remembers all the times they mildly inconvenienced him over the span of the show, and then he just turns into a collectible, which is probably just going to end up in a landfill or something. And then, like, 10 seconds after that, the show just ends. Like, that's it. There's no closure or anything for any of the characters. They're just done. There's even a prince called Joba from a whole other planet that I just didn't mention in my summary because he genuinely adds nothing to the show except getting captured and beaten up by fucking every living being on the planet. He came to Oceania because his planet basically ended up like Afghanistan after the US pulled out, and then they just basically forgot to wrap up this plot line, so his planet is still in fucking turmoil and it just never got resolved. Also, Galil's got these two henchmen called Elgar and Moser. They don't really do anything important. I mean, Moser does kinda, but that's like towards the end, and even then, not really. But I mean, I kinda like them. They're funny. The show's probably one of the most insane cases of wasted potential I've ever seen. It feels like someone took a world from an actually interesting fantasy franchise and made a Wattpad fanfiction set in it. Also, praise Zardo.
Alright, splendid. Thanks for that. Oh, there was one more thing I was going to ask you about, because in your video you mentioned something called the scrambled eggs incident. Out of curiosity, what was the scrambled eggs incident? Hello? Hello? Okay, don't know what that was about.
What's so special about him?
You shouldn't have done that.
Prince of nothing.
I warned you.
I wouldn't get any ideas, Elgar.
Oh, Joba.
So up next is a double feature from the same studio as the first double feature. To start with, we'll go ahead and jump into... Flipper and Lopaka ran from 1999 to 2005, starring Flipper the Dolphin and Lopaka the Polynesian, who gained the power to hold his breath underwater for a long time and also speak to animals. He keeps his powers a secret, much like Eliza does in The Wild Thornberrys, though Eliza couldn't tell anyone that she could speak to animals or else she would lose her powers, whereas in this show, when Lopaka does tell somebody, nothing happens. Lopaka has two friends, Nola and Bolo, plus the rest of their family who all live in the village, and then Flipper also has his friends, which I'm not going to name because there's too many of them. So there's this entire kingdom of ocean animals that live in this underwater sunken city, and Flipper here is the prince of this city, his parents are the rulers, but a big purple octopus named Dexter wants to rule the city for himself. And he is not a redeemable villain in any way whatsoever at all. There are multiple times in the series where Flipper saves his life and then he immediately uses that as an opportunity to try and kill Flipper. I don't know why they don't just kill him. You should just kill him. Kill him. Murder him. End his life. You would be 100% morally justified murking this fucking puss. Once again, we have the tried and true formula of Jamie Oxenbould as the young male character, and these two as literally everybody else. Okay, listen, I know these two are phenomenal voice actors, but at a certain point you start to run out of unique voices. Fucking Ibolo here wins the award for most ear cancer-inducing character voice in any piece of media ever made.
Typical. He's off having fun with his fishy friends while we're stuck collecting stupid seaweed flowers.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Oh yeah, Dexter also has a sister called Dolores, and they made it so that her two front tentacles are pushed up higher so they look like breasts. It's kind of funny. There's also this guy in the mirror that Flipper and Lopaka sometimes seek advice from, and every time I see it, it just makes me think of
Crash, crash, crash. Why must you always muck in my mud? Oh, look! I have a mask helping me, too.
The show is also set in modern times, so there are human antagonists, like pirates, or sometimes they have an encounter with some people from a first world country, and for some reason they don't call us white people, they call us big people. The show actually does take itself seriously to an extent. Like, every episode I watched had the characters put into a pretty dire life or death situation at some point. But yeah, that's about all I can think of to say about Flipper and Lopaka, so we'll roll the clips.
Maybe we should have worn seatbelts.
Big booby.
It is the jellyfish of time.
Ooh, I hate whales, man. I meant with your handbag, not Dexter's head.
Why damage a perfectly good handbag?
A boy has come to save us. That's it. We're doomed.
We'll use the fish to get it out.
We're saved.
Somebody? Anybody? A life on the ocean, a life rolling on the deep.
That fat octopus cushioned the impact.
It's my destiny.
We've been struck by a monster, Captain! Air breathers must be destroyed.
For my coronation, I want to invite all my friends.
Yes, well, that'll be a short list.
Now, for the second part of this second double feature is a show that I almost thought wasn't real. I almost thought this was a fake memory in my head, but I fucking found it, and it is real, and it's called... Tabaluga was a 3-season show airing from 1997 to 2004. It's based on, not a book, but on a music album. I'm not joking, there was like this German musician dude who created like a fairy tale music album thingy. The soundtrack of the cartoon has got to be like drawing from this in some way, because it's very like that kind of like 90s MIDI sound. The music has a bit more presence than your usual cartoon. The series focuses on Tabaluga, the last living dragon in Greenland, who must defend Greenland from Iceland and the evil snowman Arctos, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with the real life countries in the slightest. They just share the same names. The names are very literal, like Greenland is a land that is green, and Iceland is a land that is currently suffering from a severe methamphetamine crisis. And Arctos here wants to essentially freeze Greenland over in snow because he hates anything of colour and wants everything to be nice and pure and white.
With each brilliant campaign, I edge closer to that glorious day when this entire world will be entirely encased in a tomb of beautiful white ice instead of a mishmash of colours.
He also starts just dying if he's in an area that's too hot, so obviously he wants the land to be covered in snow so he can go wherever he wants to go without melting to death. Pretty much every episode seems to involve some kind of conflict with these two groups. And despite the snowman's efforts to destroy Greenland, the only thing he's actually managed to destroy is my YouTube video compression.
That's my plan, and it's brilliant.
Yes, brilliant, Iciness. Just one thing. How will we see what's going on to be able to steal the pendant?
Well, I can... This is a stupid idea of yours, James.
So it turns out when dragons die, they don't die, they become stars. Yes. So throughout the series, Tabaluga often seeks advice from his literal sky daddy, because the idea is like he starts off the series a lot younger and like with less control over his powers. He's supposed to be a baby. They call him a baby in the show in the first episode, even though he already knows how to speak and doesn't exactly sound like a 0-year-old. But then later on in the show, spoilers I guess, there's a bit where he goes to the dragon world. And in the dragon world, there's a baby there who's actually like a baby. So I don't know why he like skipped that bit. Maybe he was incubating for too long. I don't know. But anyway, other notable characters in the show include this owl dude who like works for but is also enslaved by the snowman. There's this bumblebee who constantly looks like she's on crack because her pupils are fucking enormous. And then there's Tabaluga's other three friends, Ruby, Happy, and Digby, which I don't really have a lot to say about. I tell you what I do have a lot to say about though, this fucking character design. Like, the main character of this show is a anthropomorphic dragon, so I should love it from that reason alone. But this motherfucker has a balloon for a head. This studio is usually pretty damn good with their character design, so I don't know what the fuck happened here. Why is his head this big, stupid oval, and why are his eyes so fucking small? He actually looks more appealing when he's drawn kind of off-model with bigger eyes sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot get over how doofy he looks. His head is a fucking football yearning to be punted into the nearest billabong. I am dead serious when I say that this design is so ugly to me that it makes me not want to watch the show. I am not watching this show because I don't want to look at this Fuglosaurus for the next 79 episodes. Anyway, so that was Tabaluga. Yes, there was a 3D animated movie that came out a decade later. No, we're not going to talk about it.
Prepare for takeoff, fool!
Okay.
Tabaluga.
No.
We will find them. You will see.
Just because old Frosty Face has seen a green blob. Well, if I get pneumonia, it'll be his fault.
Took
at those wings flapping. Father, you're here.
Yes.
Hey, Scorch, race you down to the berry patch.
You're on. You won't escape me.
What's an Arctos?
You don't want to find out.
At last, my quest is coming.
Okay, so I'm going to give an honourable mention to a show that is not Australian, but it's so, like, burned into the subconscious of everyone who watched ABC at that time. I can't not at least mention it. It's not even like a full show, it's like an intermission short that was played in between other programs. The show is French and it's called High Contrast Photos of Fruit Floating Threateningly in the Night. No, it's called... So yeah, that's the show. Basically, each episode had about 3 or 4 little short stop-motion animations of fruit and vegetables turning into other stuff, and the music is entirely comprised of sounds made by somebody's voice, just like pitch shifted and arranged. It's kind of like YouTube poop music videos in a way, before YouTube poop music videos. It's very odd, but I like it a lot. But yeah, anyway, moving on. The final cartoon I'm going to be covering today is... So Dogstar was a Flash cartoon made by Media World Pictures, same company as Ocean Girl, funnily enough. The release schedule of this show is like weirdly spread out. Like the pilot was made in 2002, season 1 came out in 2006, but season 2 didn't come out until 2011. And then 5 years later in 2016 they released a Christmas special. They were releasing content for this show when Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were running for president. That like doesn't compute to me in my head. Like this show is so old to me. For it to still not be done when that was happening, it's actually fucking wild to me that it was still getting content as late as 2016. The premise of the show is that humanity has to leave Earth because we fucked it to shit, and basically the entire world is migrating to a new planet that they found, but all the animals in the world are being taken on their own respective arcs, which is each named after the animal they're carrying. So you got like Bear Star, Cat Star, and then of course there's the Dogstar ship, which has everybody's pet dogs on it, which mysteriously doesn't make it to New Earth with the rest, getting lost in space somewhere. And the reason it got lost in space is because the family that the show focuses on, their dog Hobart pissed into a vent, which fucked up the ship's autopilot and sent them just careening off into the middle of deep space. A kid named Glenn decides to brave the dangers of space by stealing his parents' ship and going to look for them on his own, though his siblings and his grandmother end up tagging along. The antagonist of the show is this businessman who essentially capitalizes on the fact that everybody's dogs are gone by replacing all the dogs with robots. And in doing so, he basically becomes the most rich and powerful person on the planet. And obviously it would be bad for business if the actual Dogstar was ever found and people got their real dogs back. So he actively goes out of his way to thwart any attempt made by the Clark family or anyone else to find the Dogstar, while simultaneously running a fake organization whose stated purpose is to find it. So then obviously he can just be like, what do you mean I don't want the Dogstar to come back? I'm literally funding an effort to bring it back. I gotta say, right off the bat, really good premise. You've got exceptionally solid motivations for both the protagonist and the antagonist, and the setting is space, which, you know, you can do anything with space. You can do so much with space. Why are there not more animated series set in space? We'll have to fix that at some point. Okay, so real quick, I want to explain why I have such dog shit Dogstar footage. You can't watch this show. There's nowhere online I've found to watch this show in its entirety, and half of the episodes that are on YouTube are the official Turkish dub.
Galaksinin en hızlı gemisi olarak tasarlamıştı. Öyleyse,
Apparently it was on ABC iView at some point. It's not anymore. Apparently I heard season 2 of this show never even made it to DVD. There are parts of season 1 on DVD, but all the episodes are like scattered, and just like the DVDs just have random assortments of episodes on them in different orders from when they originally aired. Why you would do that in a serialized show where the order of episodes actually does matter, I don't fucking know. I guess the episodes are self-contained enough that they felt fine just fucking throwing darts at a wall to choose what episodes to put on the DVDs. There's this really shitty frame rate rip of episode 1 that's on YouTube. There's like snippets of season 2. And then there's this guy's like animation folio work on the show, which is missing half the sound effects and all of the music is gone.
Someone please help! This person is very ill. I think he may be dying.
I'm dying!
I was right! Help!
What is the problem? Oh my goodness.
Lincoln, run for it!
And then over on Dailymotion, there's a bunch of these really fucking weirdly, like, awfully cropped, distorted versions of it. This is fucking terrible, though. Like, I can't watch the show like this. Which is a real shame, too, because I was actually probably more interested in rewatching this show from start to finish than any of the others on this list. But I can't because these companies do not give a shit about media preservation. So the show kind of alternates between 3 perspectives. You've got the kids out in space searching for the Dogstars, the main one. And then you've got the Clark kids' parents and also the antagonists experiencing events back on New Earth. And then we also get segments on the Dogstar itself, following both Hobart and the 2 robotic pilots of the Dogstar, one of which is 100% convinced he's actually a human.
That's revolting.
Are you saying you want me to wax too? Now that's getting extreme, Alice.
You've stuck dog hair to your armpits. That's sick.
So we have Alice, who sounds very Chinese, and I think that's very funny. And then we have Zeke, who has an American accent, but you can definitely tell it was an Australian voicing him, because the Australian accent kind of slips through sometimes.
We must revive them, Alice. He's my brother, and I'm sure he'd do the same for me.
Meanwhile, we have the New Earth segments, aka the trials and tribulations of evil businessman Bob Santino and his homosexual grandson.
Next time we're menaced by a vicious street gang, I'll do this. And they'll be so impressed they'll run away.
Or they might do this.
And then there's the Clark kids' parents, who wind up having this billionaire visit their house a weird amount of times. I don't remember if they ever quite catch on to him being evil or not, but it is kind of funny having the protagonist's parents just unknowingly having casual conversations with the guy trying to kill their children.
I think you stepped in something outside.
Oh, sorry. Bad camel!
And then finally we have the kids and their grandmother who are searching for the Dogstar on their own. There's this alien girl named Gemma who they pick up fairly early on in the show, who sounds like Tracey McBean with a blocked nose because she was voiced by the same actor.
And this is my favourite rock. It may be too heavy. Do you have anything else? Well, I do have a smaller rock. Hang on. Mum and Dad don't even know who Gemma is. We can't just send them a rock. But it's a very good rock. A hunting rock. Sorry, Gemma, but you're not really family. You're not offended, are you? No.
I'll fucking kill you, Simone. I'll fucking end your life, cunt. Don't be mean to the green alien girl. It's your pretty standard space affair. There's episodes that take place on the ship. There's episodes where they get off to planets and stuff, facing all the many dangers that space brings. It's just a good, fun time. Or at least I think it was, from my memory, because I can't fucking watch the show anymore. You can actually watch the pilot. The pilot's on YouTube. I really like how the surface of New Earth in the pilot is just Australia copy and pasted over and over again. Most of the character designs haven't really changed. They've just kind of received a little bit of polish. Except for Lincoln Clark, who I think received a pretty severe downgrade in the final show for whatever reason. They turned him into a fuglet, so he's both the worst looking character in the show and has the most annoying personality.
Hobart, rotate laterally and feign rigor mortis. Note that I am Hobart's favoured sibling.
Lincoln, why do you have to use such big words?
Because I am a juvenile genius and you are an arboreal primate.
Hey?
It means you're a monkey, Glenn.
Simone doesn't look too good either. She's kind of got that Tabaluga balloon head syndrome thing going on. But it's fine. You know, the art style of this show is not the main reason I enjoy it. Oh, speaking of interesting character designs, there are these dog people that come into the show later on. I don't remember how. I think they're called canoids from memory. But the female dog people look like this.
Could you poke those guys with a stick? They look about as dangerous as marrowbone jelly.
Sure!
Rolling.
Harmless monkeys or heartless monsters? Which are they? You be the judge. Though, if you picked harmless monkeys, you're stupid.
They gave the female dog people 6 tits. That's too many tits. Maybe that's technically more realistic. I guess. Personally, I think 2 is like the sweet spot. You know, any more than that, it's kind of weird. Any less than that, it's kind of weird. monotit. Can you imagine just a fucking like centralized monotit? Anyway, but yeah, overall, like, I remember this show being good. I would love to check for myself and rewatch the entire thing as an adult, but I can't. But anyway, let's roll those out of context clips because I need to go to bed.
Dad, did the sky used to be blue?
That's just a myth, Glenn. It's always been a nice brown colour, just like the pure, fresh water we drink.
Why did you decide to turn yourself into such a hideously ugly creature?
This is my natural form.
Alice, what does it mean when that light flashes?
Oh, that's just the air conditioning, Zeke.
You sure, Alice?
Yes, Zeke.
I thought it meant we're about to take off.
No, that can't be right.
Hard to believe.
I got all the dogs, yeah, yeah. Ooh, I got all the dogs, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can make them all.
Please. I miss the way you used to bury your hairbrush and dig it up again.
The one I used?
Yeah.
And you never told me.
No.
What?
I should never have trusted those Tonga Tapuans.
So yeah, that was a decent little look at Australian animation, of which there is not much, especially nowadays. There is really not much. You know, I was originally planning to include a bunch of live action shows in this list as well. I might save that for another time because this already took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to. But anyway, that's all for now, and I don't have a funny clip for the end of the video like I usually do because I've already done that 10 times over this video, so you're not getting another one. Bye-bye!